Hello and welcome everyone. It's the 5th episode. It's the New Orleans Saints, a team that I low-key support because I'm a huge fan of Tyler Shough. Was really rooting for him. And once again, I do apologize if you hear scratching. It's just my cat reacting to me speaking English. I don't know, there is something in her precious little amazing brain that compels her to do it. So sorry for that. I hope it doesn't ruin the experience. So if you are new here, this is how this works. Here you can see really quick rundown. If you just want the information how I feel about the New Orleans Saints entering the draft, you can find it here. Very convenient, very simple. But if you want to dig deeper, if you just want to know why I feel this way about these rooms, let's dig deeper, right? You will find it out on next slides with me. So join me on the ride. See you on draft day. I will be streaming, so I hope to see you there, guys. And let's start with. So the Saints are interesting because they have once again approached the offseason with a little bit too we have money that I would like to. At the same time, the positive is they have done it in search of help of Tyler Shough, which I can get by. Now, where does this leave this room? In terms of quarterbacks, this is a clear tier 3 need. You don't need to invest there. You have invested second round in Tyler Shough, and I think originally it was like, well, he should be ready. And if he's not good, we will draft another guy this year because we just spent second round thing. It was not like premium first round, top 10 pick, etc. And he, to no surprise of mine, was really damn freaking good. And in Spencer Rattler, you might not want to hear that. You have quality backup. I felt like he was actually playing his best football last year. It was not like great, but it was enough, in my opinion. So really no need to worry about. In terms of running backs, I wish they have not signed Travis Etienne because I don't think that room was not functional with 4 bodies they have there, Kendra Miller, Audrey Estima, Devin Neal, and Alvin Kamara, to justify spending premium money on a really good running back. He is not top 5. He is not, I think, even top 10. So on one side, helping Tyler Shough, like it. On the other, in terms of value per money, I don't think it was there. At the same time, it leaves us with clearly no desire and no need to draft into the backfield. Where the need is wide receiver room, because let's be honest, Chris Olave is great freaking wide receiver. He is. At the same time, you cannot deny that you have concerns about his long-term health. I'm sorry. He had, I think, 2 concussions as of right now in his NFL career. And the last one really felt like if one more strikes, his career is over. I am so happy he was healthy in 25. But just the mere fact that they have not prolonged him yet, despite just 1 year left on his deal, probably tells you that there is discrepancy between what Chris Olave seeks and how Saints value this in terms of risk of injury. So for 27, 26, you have a guy. For 27, I'm not sure you do. And the big thing is, like, you have a couple of nice wide receiver 3.5 pieces. Devon Valley. Bob Means perhaps. Mason Tipton had some occasional splashes, but those are more of like 4.5. Devon Valley is like kind of wide receiver 3. So overall, you have like some guys. But man, you need someone opposing to Chris Olave, someone to look for the future if you decide not to bring Olave back next year, or just in case Olave gets injured. You need that alpha. So this room, to me, absolutely justifies spending a premium resource just because it's kind of functional for this year. I would say it's low tier 1. At the same time, it definitely is tier 1. The same thing you, in my eyes, cannot say it about the tight end room. It's not like they have the best tight end room in the game. But Juwan Johnson is a solid tight end 1, no offense, quality veteran, and the room is absolutely functional. I would say bringing a blocking specialist, because what perhaps a lot of people who have not watched Saints because they have not been relevant to playoff for several years don't understand, this is a team with damn good offensive line, and we will get to that. So helping it even more when you brought already Travis Etienne, having a blocking specialist tight end could definitely give them a really, really nice plethora and unleash Tyler Shough even more. Because what's the best friend of the quarterback besides offensive tackles? It's a functional run game. Now, that's pretty much it. I would look for 5th round blocking specialists, those guys that fall off, despite they clearly want to play football, they clearly have the body build, they will be grinding for you. There are always value on these guys. Speaking of the offensive line, let's start with the interior, because they have invested here. David Edwards was a big addition. Again, one that I am not super comfortable with, because it's a lot of money and I don't think Saints were necessarily in that situation. At the same time, he improves this interior tremendously. Cesar Ruiz now gets to be your worst piece of that offensive line, and that's a very fine position for Cesar Ruiz. And you also have Dylan Raduns. Center, a little bit more worried. Not that Eric McCoy is not a great player. I think when healthy, he is a top 5, top 7 center at worst. At the same time, he does not stay healthy too often. So you should definitely look to bring... It's true, you see? To bring either a veteran addition from the free agent market to just back up Eric McCoy, or think about the future and invest perhaps like a low tier 2 resource in towards backing center. In terms of tackles, the chips have been put to the table, and I feel like so far they have been bringing you a lot of good things. Calvin Banks, what a freaking rookie year. Talia Suaga, also really great. This could be, in a couple of years, one of the best tackles duo in league. And right now it's absolutely very freaking functional and something you are very pleased to see in terms of development. Still, I would say this is a high tier 3. It's not just you should not touch this room. In my opinion, and I will have this opinion about several other tackle rooms, look for guys, 4th, 5th round, that do not have any potential. They do not have measurements. Look for guys that just are technically sound, want to play the goddamn football, clearly enjoy, I like the saying, having a dighead mentality. They want to block, they want to protect, they want to freaking fight in the trenches. And at the same time, they don't have this crazy arm length and 360 pounds, etc. Because you don't need these guys. You already have them. You need a guy that any given Sunday is going to go there, grind the teeth out in case of injury of these two guys. Get a young, high floor, low ceiling tackle into the mix to back these guys up. I encourage you to do so. I think it's such a smart roster building, and clearly what you should be doing in terms of approaching rooms where you have your clear 2 starters for the future, and you just need someone to back them up. You don't need a guy that potentially could be replacement of these guys, because you freaking spent 1st round picks on these guys and you want them to be your long-term tackles, and they have been so far freaking amazing. Now, let's talk about the defense. Starting on the edge, Chase Young, Carl Granderson is a low-key actually very good edge duo. At the same time, I feel like there is a need to draft someone else, because let's face it, I don't really like anybody who they have behind these guys in terms of edge room. So while I do like the duo as absolutely functional, I don't like the depth. And let's face it, Chase Young had some injuries in his career, so you should be investing here. It's a really good draft for that. And it's not like these guys are super young. They are still on the youngish side. We just get to see them play so long. Chase Young entered the league, I think it was 21 when he was drafted by Washington. At the time, it was still Redskins, maybe. I don't know. They changed names somewhere in that area. And we've seen him playing playoff against Tom Brady. A long time has passed since then. Clearly a room that you should be investing in, but I don't think it justifies spending premium resources. Unlike the next one. Because, let's be fair, I don't really have a guy to show you with interior of the defensive line. There are bodies. Devon Gocho, pretty solid nose tackle still. Vernon Broughton, developmental investment made just last year. Brian Breezy, pass rusher from the inside. At the same time, like I'm really lower on Brian Breezy than a lot of guys are because I just think he's just too much of a liability for run to justify being a free down player. And like, yeah, as a designated pass rusher, but he was drafted in the first round. Like, you definitely expecting something more. So I think he's a solid player. He gives you something that is valuable. At the same time, he's not a free down player. The same, I think, applies to Devon Goodshaw in terms of he does not offer any pass rush. And Vernon Broughton, like, the first year was not necessarily great. So I really don't see free down number one defensive tackle on this roster. I don't see it in development. I don't see it in the making. And I kind of struggle to see even DT2 in terms of that room. One saving grace is it's a functional enough room. It's not like super dreadful, but you definitely should invest here. And I think this year there are some pretty interesting names that, you know, whether it's top of the second round or even your first round, I think 8th overall pick, you could brought here. Now, linebacker room, they've approached it interestingly because I felt kind of exchanging Caden Ellis over Demario Davis is like a weird situation for me because Davis is a leader. He is old. But do you necessarily like think that in next 2 years he gives you less than Caden Ellis? I don't think so. And in terms of like planning for 28, 29, is this roster necessarily in a state? I think right now I would take like better foundational piece for my defense to like help Tyler Shough develop in terms of, yeah, not always he has to go and struggle with 20 points deficit over that. At the same time, I don't think they overpaid for Caden Ellis. I think he was a solid signing. I just would not make this transition. In terms of the whole room, they have 3 absolutely functional linebackers. Caden Ellis is a clear one. I think he's a fine one. And Dennis Stutzman actually overcame Pete Warner, who is very solid linebacker too, last year at the end of the season. So right now, Pete Warner seems to be linebacker 3, which is like more than, I would say, 30 rooms can say about their linebacker core, because they do have 3 linebackers that I think absolutely can start. So I don't really see a reason to invest here. Unlike with corners, because let's be fair, I do like McKinstry. I really like when they approached, I think it was like 1.5 years ago, letting go of Marshall Latimore and be like, all right, you know, we trust in this young guy. And he paid it back. Quincy Riley, solid player. Isaac Adam, veteran depth. At the same time, I kind of don't feel you have a slot corner. Benny Bishop is going to be suspended for first couple of games, so perhaps you can like think about Isaac Adam there. Is that necessarily how you want to enter the year? And let's be fair, in modern framework or the NFL, slot corners or hybrid safeties that are playing slot corners are becoming more and more valuable. We have seen how Nick Emanvori is like very highly praised. Kyle Hamilton, Derwin James, when he played like this slot cornerback role. It's not like it was, I'd say, 5-6 years ago where, you know, we don't need to address this. 4th round, we will find a really good slot corner. I think you should address this. Nevertheless, in terms of parameter, I think they are sound with Quincy Riley, McKinstry, and committed to continue development. These young guys with Isaac Adam just being there, adding them veteran presence in case things go sideways. And Benny Bishop is a fine option for a slot. Suspension and just being fine makes this a tier 2 in my opinion. With safeties, I think you are set. Justin Reed, I was not a huge fan of this signing, just because the money to me was taking from the future of the Saints. At the same time, he is just damn good. And you have Jordan Howden, who can play slot corner. That's another possibility that they do encounter. And I would really love to see him on the field, because I think every time he does, he actually plays good. Yet Saints refuse to play him more often. Plus, you have Jonas Anker, whom they invested last year, who's probably a starting safety opposite to, or like with Justin Reed, with Jordan Howden, flexibility, and Julian Blackman as another depth. So that leaves this room pretty pretty untouched in terms of draft need, in my opinion. Now, the question will be, what do you prioritize? Because that 8th pick is going to be, is it offense or is it defense? I think you just will look at it and think, Tyler Shough, yeah, in my eyes, it should be wide receiver. But let's see what Saints cooking up on the draft night. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, if you dislike or like, if you agree or disagree with me, let me know. See you with the next one.